Hey guys, Ben Lataki here with Production Realty. This is episode 5 of renovating an old commercial building. And so just kind of wanted to give you an update, weekly update here. Last week I was talking about that I was meeting with an architect to go over some of what the city is going to require. And so I did that and I got his proposal here. And it was interesting. It was a good conversation because he kind of gave me a bunch of insight into what the city is going to need. They need to know where the HVAC is going to be run. They want to know where all the electrical outlets are going to be and where like the plumbing in the kitchen is going to be. Which again, I could make this argument that like we're not really adding walls or the space is going to be used just as an office space, so there's not going to be a lot of people in here like there were before when it was a bar and a restaurant. So you know, whatever code is, put outlets every 6 feet or whatever it is, right? I still have this weird, like I don't know why we need an architect to tell us that, because the electrician's going to know where those boxes go, what that code's going to be. Bathrooms are going back where the bathrooms are. The vent's already there for that. I do want to add a kitchenette somewhere, and so okay, maybe we need somebody to approve where I put the vent for that. But that's about it. So we had a bunch of discussion, me and some of the agents in my office and some colleagues and stuff, about where I thought this quote would come in at, because I was hoping to save some money with going with the engineer that helped design the space that was going to be here before I bought it. And it did save me some money, but my ballpark was $5,000. I thought he was probably going to charge about $5,000 for the blueprints that I need to appease the city. And I had some colleagues that were like, no way, it'll never be that high. Maybe $500, maybe $1,000, and somebody else said $2,500 maybe. And so I called a buddy of mine who was doing another project downtown about a block away. Went and toured his facility and looked at his blueprints, and he laughed. He said, it will never be below $5,000. And so the quote here is, ready for it? $6,500. So again, I am a little bit in over my head with this project. I've never renovated a commercial space. I've done a lot of residential stuff, but never done a commercial thing. But I've said this whole time, I'm going to kind of try and document this whole project so that you can learn the things that I'm learning in this process. So I'm in Jackson, Michigan. I mean, these prices are probably going to be all over the board, depending on where you live and what town you're working in. But for me, it was close. It was just $1,500 more than what I kind of had in my mind that I thought it would cost. But again, a little bit of like, hey, it's $6,500 I probably don't need to spend. I mean, I don't need this guy to tell me to put walls right there and to put floors right there and to put an outlet every 6 feet. You know, it's just, but so $6,500. So I'm going to kind of check around with some other colleagues, see if that is a good deal. He did say that it was about half the cost, as if he had never been in this building before. That the quotes for the boutique were about double that, around 15 to 18, he said, depending on, she was thinking about maybe adding a second floor, and that was going to get to be a real expensive project architecture wise. So he said I am saving about half the cost. But so that discussion is done. I do want to show you real quick is the other project that I was working on is the exterior, getting it ready to finish for the roofers. And so I feel like every time I touch something, I run into a new problem. So when we did the roof, there was a lot of old phone lines and all kinds of stuff all up here, cable and all kinds of stuff up here. And so the roofers, I don't know if you can see it there, but the roofers just brought that rubber material over, and it's just there temporary until I could get all that down. So I got all of that down, and I ran into two issues. One, this might be hard to see. This is just like a little back alley. We're going to store real estate signs and stuff in here. But the same thing is that roof comes around the edge. Well, I pulled this wall off, and it went right up, right up and exposed the rafters inside. So you can see right inside the building. So the contractors, I think, are going to probably shore it up better like they did on this wall here. But now I got an open, just a big open cavity in the building, and I don't have contractors lined up to fix that right now. So I kind of, when that happened, I did not tear all this off because I think that is all a little bit rotted. You can see it's a 1 by, like a 1x8, not a full 2x6 or 2x8, you know, framing material. And it looks like there's 2 of them, and then a 1x6 maybe. I'm just not sure what all that is, and I don't think it's probably gonna work. So, but I'm making progress. We got this wall cleared off. We got the quote from the engineer or the architect, and it's about 3 o'clock. So I was waiting for the brick mason guy, my masonry guy, to get here to start looking at all this stuff. So he may show up here still today. So all in all, productive day. We had a lot of people stop by. That's another really fun thing about being in this downtown location. I am just constantly having buddies and colleagues and people I've met years ago just popping their head in, wanting to see how it's looking. So it's going to be an exciting space to have a real estate office for sure. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll get back with you probably next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.